Hey, it's your girl, Dr. Shaquita Starks, also known as Reverend Hanifa Matuko. I hold a PhD in nursing science. I'm a certified nurse educator. I'm also a psychiatric nurse practitioner and family nurse practitioner, recent fellow of the American Academy of Nursing, and an ordained minister of spiritual consciousness. And I want to let you know that everything that I will talk about today is all of my own opinion, right? It has nothing to do with any organization that I'm a part of or associated with. Okay. And I said all these things to show you that I have authority to develop and to analyze and to look at concepts and phenomenon. And I'm also a psychiatric nurse practitioner, so I've been working in the mental health space for a very long time. So this phenomenon that I want to talk about today has no disorder in the DSM-5. There's no concept around this, but it is something that I have noticed in the Black community, and it's very concerning. And I thought about this as I was talking to a friend this morning who was telling me a story about a young person who went to jail or went to prison for a crime that they did not commit. And I've seen this countless times in the Black community where you will have a young man, and I'm just going to call this little man little J. We're going to use the term little J for this young man, and just to conceptualize this phenomenon that I'm talking about. So you have little J. Little J is 30 years old. Little J has 2 small children at home, and he has a fiance. Okay. But little J is still connected to the streets. He still hangs out with his homeboys. He makes money illegally for whatever reason. We don't know why. Little J is just hanging out with his friends one day when they decide to take a ride to a store. Little J is the only person that has a car, so he's transporting them to where they need to be. He stays in the car while they go on the store, has no idea of what his friends' intentions were. They did not want to go to the store just to buy a snack. They wanted to go to the store to rob someone. All right. So they go into the store and they rob the store. Just, we're going to say it's a gas station. They go and rob the gas station, take money from the register, but it doesn't go well, and they end up shooting the person behind the register, and this person dies, right? They rush out of the store and they leave or whatever. And a few days later, police shows up at Little J's home. Little J is at home with his family, and they arrest Little J because they only saw Little J. They didn't see the other people because they scattered and they covered their faces. They're nowhere to be found. So Little J gets arrested, and Little J gets questioned about, what happened. Little J honestly doesn't know what happened. But he found out like later, oh yeah, somebody did do something, right? And he knows who did it, or he may even know who did it. But the police ask him, and he ain't budging. He ain't saying nothing, because it's a no snitching policy, right? In the hood, it's a no snitching policy. So at this very moment that Little J is getting interrogated, whatever, he has to make a decision. He has to reconcile within himself. Am I going to choose my family, my fiance at home, and my 2 children, or am I going to choose my homeboys? Now, this is something that happens very frequently, and guess what happens? 9.5 times out of 10. They're going to choose their homeboys. That means that they will not snitch. They will not tell the police who did the crime and nothing around it. So they take the fall for their homeboy and face 10 years, 20 years, maybe even life. It just depends, because they refuse to snitch and they just say, I did it. They say, I did it. Now, in many of these cases, I think that if this man had to go to jail for his fiance, he probably would not. So I think what I'm saying is that they would go to jail for their homeboys before they would go to jail for their own family. And it's evident because they're choosing their homeboy or the hood rather than to go home to their family. This I see this phenomenon in that aspect. I see this phenomenon when it comes to black men spending money on women. They would rather not be kind to a black woman. And not all black men are like this. I'm not saying that this is just, in some cases, I see black men being more loyal to each other rather than the opposite sex. And we were trying to come up, what is this concept called? It's not about sexuality or romance. These are not intimate relationships in that way. In these situations, it's what we see as homosocial bonding or homotypic codependency, where men are more loyal to other men than they are the women in their lives, even the mothers of their children and even their children. Now, there are some who are intimate with each other and they keep that on the low. We have a lot of down low men in the black community for whatever reason, for a lot of reasons. I can't even front, I don't know the reasons why, but there are a lot of reasons around that, and that's another conversation. But in these situations, it's a homosocial, homotypical, trauma-bonded loyalty syndrome, where men are more loyal, bond more with men than they do with the women, even if they have children by these women. They're more loyal to them, maybe because they helped them at some point. I don't know, but it's just a crazy phenomenon. So we came up with this term that needs further study, I think, called homotypic codependency. It refers to a maladaptive relational pattern occurring between two individuals of the same sex, characterized by excessive emotional reliance, impaired autonomy, diffuse personal boundaries, and mutually reinforcing dysfunctional coping behaviors. This phenomenon, we think it may emerge in same-sex friendships or peer bonds, where the shared gender identity amplifies emotional mirroring, role fusion, and relational enmeshment. So this is not descriptive, this is not a concept, it's not a disorder, it's not a formal diagnosis, but it aligns with this behavioral construct of codependent relationships, enmeshment, and attachment dysregulation that I have seen in the hood that falls under the no snitching policy. So what do you think about it? This is just something that I've been thinking about for a very long time, and I just wonder why some men who experience this choose their homeboy over their family. Follow me on all my social media platforms. The links are in my bio.